Alright, welcome back everybody. So it's time for another midnight video. So tonight's video, we're going to be talking about the Xbox Summer Game Showcase 2024. So they had showcased about a good 31, 32 games. I got my list right over here, and over here we're going to be having some of those gameplay videos. I'm not going to be discussing all of the games. There's actually 30 games in total. Just to start off with, the Xbox showcase was actually a lot better than the PlayStation showcase. Man, I have no idea what the hell Sony is thinking right now. All this time they were wiping the floor with Xbox, and all of a sudden Xbox, out of nowhere, out of left field, came out swinging, and they did actually have a much better presentation, but that's also really not saying much. I was very confused when I was seeing people tweeting and making videos titled "The Xbox Showcase was amazing," and honestly, I had to watch it twice because the first time I watched it, I don't know, maybe it was because I was having a bad time, still am, but maybe it was because I was having a bad time, and I was also tired, so I was letting those two things affect my judgment. So I decided to rewatch it a second time, and that's when I decided to take out the paper and pen and see what I thought of the show. So again, this is my opinion on the games based on my point of view and my taste. I'm a very big fan since day one of Xbox. As you can see here, I have the Master Chief helmet. That should tell you quite a bit. And then we have the UNSC. Hoorah! Semper Fudge. All right, so let's just get right into it. I want to try to make the video less than 30 minutes. Can we do it? Mission impossible. All right, so the first game that they showcased was obviously Call of Duty. So I wrote next to each game the letter M. So the letter M stands for magenta. Magenta is the color out of space, the unnatural color that is not found occurring naturally in nature. And this, in my opinion, because I see it in almost every freaking game since all this forced DEI stuff has started like 3 years ago, and it's now bleeding into almost every single one of our games, including Nintendo. And don't think I didn't notice it in one of my favorite games, the Super Mario games, especially Wonder. Wonder had me very concerned, but it's still a great franchise. So I think the color magenta, ultraviolet, is the calling card of the signature of anything that was touched by Sweet Baby Inc., Black Girl Gamer, ICO, and all these other bridge BlackRock companies with all these ESG stuff that are forcing the woke agenda into all of our games. And the majority of the games have a letter M next to them. And just in case you guys forget it, I'm also going to write those games. I'm going to write those titles in magenta, but not just in magenta. The lighting effect, you'll see. And trust me, it won't take long. And if you guys want to see how bad things are, you can also check out my Purple Rain video, where I pretty much took a picture of hundreds of games that are coming out for the PlayStation 5 that have the magenta lighting in it. And then I did a little bit of a parody with quotes from the movie Color Out of Space. All right, so let's just get right into this, guys. Enough time wasted. All right, time to get serious, because video game videos is serious business. Video games videos is serious business. Right, so Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So that's coming out in October. The majority of these games will be on Xbox. And as you guys could see, there is no magenta on it. Whether or not there's been consultation, who knows? Most likely, it is a Xbox IP now. So like clockwork, it does look like a very interesting game. I will probably be playing it. I'm gonna most likely be playing most of the games that I'm going to be showcasing over here because they're gonna be free. I'm paying $11 or $16 per month for the Game Pass Ultimate or the standard one, whichever one I decide to keep. So there's really nothing for me to lose. I'm not purchasing the games, but I will be playing them included with my cheap service. Take advantage while you can, right? Alright, and then the biggest takeaway of the entire show was obviously Doom, the Dark Ages. What did I write about that? Looks... Yeah, so I do want to discuss this because I'm a big fan of Doom. I've liked Doom. My obsession with Doom started with Doom 2016, Doom 3, when it was like an actual horror survival type of first-person shooter. That is still my favorite Doom game. But the thing that I'm finding with this one, so we do know part of the ESG kind of stuff is that they want to reduce violence in games and whatever, especially gore. So I have noticed, especially in Doom Dark Ages, the game looks very crisp, very clean. There's not a lot of destruction from the things that they showed us in the gameplay. But what I've noticed, even though there is gore, like you'll see that huge tank enemy getting his side blown completely wide open, you'll see a blood spurt, but where's the buckets of blood? And you can see that in examples all over the trailer, and then towards the end of the trailer, when he's fighting one of those big tanky guys, stabbing him with his blade on his wrist, shooting the guy, kicking him, all sorts of violence, but there's no blood coming out of the guy. So I don't know if it's... I'm hoping this is just because it's still in production, they're working on that stuff, or maybe they just introduced the game with a much softer, appearance for the showcase, and then like later on we'll be getting the real deal where they'll be showing us much more blood. But it looks very clean. Like I'm not seeing so much destruction like the buildings and the environments. But apart from that, the game does look stellar. Welcome back to Stellar Legends. Got that at the beginning. So it does look like a great game, and obviously I will be trying it. Crap, I didn't write if it's on Game Pass or not. It's a Bethesda game, so most likely it is going to be on Game Pass. But if I do like the game, I'm going to buy it for the PlayStation 5 because it's going to most likely include a photo mode, and I want to do some great photo mode videos with it, like I did for Doom Eternal. Alright, so now, moving on to the next one. So we had State of Decay 3. I'm not going to talk about that one too much. I wrote over here, it looks interesting, but the presentation was not appealing to me. Like it seemed the dialogue that was happening and the emotion that was happening, comparing to the death and violence and everything that we're seeing in the background, that I found a bit odd. Like they're trying to present two different realities, which is very schizophrenic, very weird. It looks interesting. If it's on Game Pass, I'll give it a try. I never played any of the State of Decay games, but I know they are popular. And then, of course, we had the fourth showcase, Dragon Age 4. You can absolutely miss me with all of that nonsense. I'm sorry. If people are saying the game look... I don't understand this whole concept of accepting things. Or people fighting for studios like they're employees or they're foot soldiers of those companies, and they're outright attacking people who are criticizing it. Like, I'm criticizing the game. I'm not criticizing the people that like the game. I'm not making fun of anybody that likes the game and wants to play the game. I'm just giving my opinion on what I think the game looks like. And I'm getting attacked for it on a personal level. So anyway, yeah, it is in the middle of summer. There's a lot of bugs here, so sorry about that. But I did want to make a midnight video, even though it's 2 a.m. So the game to me looks very cheap. It looks like a high-polished mobile game. I'll probably play it because it's on Game Pass. There's no way I'm going to purchase it. The last Dragon Age, I think, was called the Inquisition. That was on the PlayStation 4. That looked great. The first Dragon Age, like I've been playing Dragon Age since day one. I wasn't a big fan of Dragon Age 2 because the huge gameplay style shift. But then the next one, Inquisition, was another great Dragon Age. I went afterwards back and played Origins and still enjoyed it, even though it's an old Xbox 360 game. I think it's also on PlayStation 3. But man, this new one looks like Fortnite. Magenta, purple, all over the place. The characters all look weird. And this is where you're going to, oh, you think the game characters look weird? Well, you're an ugly old man, Giga Vega. Again, I'm criticizing a game, but these people attack people on a personal level just because it's a reason to hate on somebody, right? So that game, you can completely miss me with that. And then we had Starfield Shattered Space. So that's an add-on that's coming out for Starfield. Starfield, that is the game that I said, all right, Xbox, you let me down for the last time. And that was the last time I decided I was going to stop buying games for the Xbox. And that's why I'm playing strictly now PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch games. The only time I'll play an Xbox game is if it's on Game Pass or if it's a new Halo or Gears of War game, because those are games that I hope will continue to be great, even though they've been reducing in quality. But anyways, we'll get to Gears of War soon enough. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'll try it. I heard they updated and improved the photo mode. That's at least something I'm interested in looking into. So maybe with that, the photo mode, I'll look into what the expansion looks like. As long as it's free and included with Game Pass. If not, you could miss me with that nonsense. Starfield. You could never convince me that that game is what Todd Howard has been working on for over 20 years. You cannot convince me of that. The next game, Expedition 33. So this one is definitely a game that I'm going to be checking out. It is going to be on... No, it's not going to be on Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be on Game Pass. At least they haven't announced it yet. But it will also be on PlayStation 5. That game is definitely a game that I'm very much interested in. It is from what I'm seeing, a turn-based RPG, but the game looks very, very interesting, including the characters, so I'll definitely be picking it up. It does look cool. So I missed Fallout 76, so it was a commercial introducing a new vault. I believe it was Vault 86. I'm not I've never played Fallout 76. I'm not really interested in that, so we'll move on. All right, so now the next game, South of Midnight. So I might gain some. I might gain some of you with this. I might lose some of you with this. But South of Midnight. So it is a game that's going to be on Game Pass. So this game does have the stink, and I do mean the stink, of Sweet Baby Inc. And this is another case where I'll empathize with the developer studio, because the game does actually look good. I don't think the protagonist looks as bad as people are making her out to look. I think she looks appropriate for the game that she is in. See, guys, I can have takes that could surprise you. A lot of people didn't expect me to be championing Tales of Kenzera Zhao, but here I am. So the thing with the involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. in this game, if this is a game, if this is the game, and I think it is, so this was the game where Kim Belair, and if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the comments. Feel free. The comments are always open. So this is the game where Sweet Baby Inc. approached the studio and said, well, let's see how we can more diversify the game. What do you think if we change the characters a little bit? And the developer was like, well, the character is a French person, a French woman, so female led, so that's diversity enough. And then Kim in the interview was like, yeah, that's fine, but I think we can do better. And then they forced the team, or they changed the team's mind to make the character into a black female, and that's how we have the protagonist that we have now. So I don't know how one race is better than another race. Again, I was blocked by Sweet Baby Inc. and Kim Belair because I called Sweet Baby Inc. corporate bullies, because they absolutely are corporate bullies. But this game, it does look it has a unique art style. Hopefully the personality of the character stays the way it is in the showcase that we just watched, as you guys are seeing over here, because she wasn't as off-putting as she was in the first trailer that they showed us, but I'm very certain that her personality is going to be going back and forth, and she will be a mix of both personalities. So again, I'm going to be trying that. It's going to be on Game Pass. I have zero to lose. I'm not spending $80 on the game. It's included in Game Pass. So I'm going to definitely try it. I'm hoping it's good, because I want good studios to step up and say no to this kind of stuff, because there's a lot more than what I just said in this for this game. You can read other articles, but they pretty much strong-armed the developer into changing the game the way Sweet Baby Inc. wanted it. So hopefully they learned their lesson and they'll refuse any sort of collaboration with consultation teams going forward. So I'm interested in that one. I'm definitely gonna play it, so come back to this channel when that game comes out. The art style looks great. The enemies look freaking fantastic. You know, we're always complaining about how they're covering up our female characters. Look, she's got a tank top. Sure, she's wearing another shirt underneath it, but she does have a feminine body, right? So at least they compromised. Oh, dude. That was this. All right, moving on. And then they had a commercial for World of Warcraft. I was actually really hoping that it was going to be an announcement for finally coming to Xbox, but nope. I don't. I have a gaming PC. I just don't really play PC games. So then we have Sea of Thieves, whatever. Flintlock. It is going to be on Game Pass. I hate mosquitoes. It is going to be on Game Pass. I'll just try it for shits and giggles, but it doesn't really look like a game that I want to play. It looks like Forspoken. The game looks messy with particle effects and everything all over the screen, just like Dragon Age. Man, Dragon Age looks like a mess. There's garbage everywhere all the freaking time, especially in the action. So yeah, so that's Flintlock. All right, then we have the 13th game. So again, all these games so far have had the, as you guys can see, magenta titles. So all these games were most likely consulted with Sweet Baby Inc. type of games, companies. So the next game, Age of Mythology, not my type of game, so I'm not going to praise or trash it, but if it's your type of game, hey, have at it. It's going to also be on Game Pass, so there you go. And then following that, we had Perfect Dark. So that's the one where everyone's laughing at the character because she has the cherubim chin, the man jaw, Mary Jane. So it's a remake of the original game. I'm sure it's not just a remake, it's a reimagining. Again, it's going to be on Game Pass. I might give it a try. Who freaking knows? But again, it's on Game Pass. Next, we had Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred. Obviously, I'm going to be getting that because I'm a big Diablo 4 fan. I very much like the game. Season 4 is fantastic, but I'm just not a fan of Nirel. Hopefully, that's going to be the last we hear of Nirel. The reason why I don't like her is not because it's a female character and it's a female-focused expansion. The reason why I don't like her is because she followed in her mom's footsteps and has learned absolutely nothing from her mother's lessons. And even in this trailer, her mother, obviously not her mother, it's Mephisto if I'm not mistaken, deceiving her, telling her the same thing. You haven't learned. Even though I give you warnings, you haven't learned your lesson. That's why I can't empathize with a character like that, because it's just it's pointless. It's history repeating. But again, I'm definitely gonna be getting it. Then close, and maybe in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, I'll do the pre-order so I could unlock the added character, the added skins. So yeah, definitely gonna be playing that on the PlayStation 5. So Diablo 4 is available on Game Pass. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's see how they mess it up on the next season. That's usually what they do. One step forward, one step back. One step forward, one step back. All right, and then the next one they showed was was Fable. So they seem to have changed the character model. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the game. If you can design your own character, that's going to give me more incentive to want to play the game. But they haven't shown me anything that's of interest. For me, let's put it this way: I'm more interested in replaying the Fable games from the Xbox 360 than I am interested in playing this new Fable game. The next one is Fragpunk. What did I write for that? PvP 5v5 shooter. And it wasn't for me. I don't even remember what it looks like. I wrote M in capital, so I'm guessing magenta blinding you. Like this light is blinding me right now. Alright, then the next one we had was Winter Burrow. That was a very indie game, hand-drawn, mousy character. Really not a game for me, but it's on Game Pass, so there you go. Then the next game was Mixtape. So that's the 19th. So we have 10 more games to discuss. So Mixtape. The game looks very cringy. It is a game that's targeting a much younger generation. So I'm clearly not the target demographic for that game. So I'm not gonna really trash it, but there is a lot of magenta and purple and pink in the game. Alright, and then the 20th game they showcased was the next addition to the Flight Simulator. It looks fantastic, very realistic, but I'm not into simulators, so I'm not going to be checking out the game. I might actually download it just to get the feel of it, to see what it looks like, but not really for me. My uncle likes flight simulators. He's got like the whole cockpit and everything. Yeah, he was almost a pilot. Let's put it that way. That's why he loves the flight simulators. All right, and then the next one we have was Elder Scrolls Online, 10 years. I thought it was, yeah, so I wrote here, I thought it was a new game or new expansion coming out targeting the youths. It looks very cringy, the presentation of it. I don't know why they chose to go that way, but I guess obviously they're trying to attract a younger audience to come to the game. So Elder Scrolls is online. It's always been a good game, so regardless of whatever I said, it's still a good game. A regular trailer would have also attracted more eyes. There's always new updates coming out with that game. All right, and then the next one, Life is Strange. So it's a game. So this series is a game that is not again, I'm not the target demographic of it. I don't play them. I don't review them because I'm not interested in those type of games. So if I'm not going to play something, I'm not going to criticize it. But I will say, based on the other games from Life is Strange that I've seen, this one definitely, the art style, very, it's similar, but very different at the same time. It's, I'm not sure. You can watch Story Mode's video on Life is Strange 2 Explained. Very funny. I think they did it in 2 or 3 parts based on the episodes. So yeah, so that game I'm not gonna play because it's not a game for me. Then the next one was In Banana Jones, The Great Circle. The whole trailer was off-putting. They tried doing things that are in movies, like the humor and the facial expressions between the two actors, protagonist, antagonist, that works in movies, but doesn't really work that well in video games. Then also, yeah, it's I just felt put off when I was watching the trailer. It seemed also very try-hard. So that it's going to be on Game Pass. So I'll probably give it a try when it comes out. But it looks yeah. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one. So then the next one we had 24 was Mecha Break. So if you're into these virtual on type of games, this does look fantastic. The mech combat looks great. The graphics look fantastic. I didn't write whether it's on Game Pass or not, so that means it's not going to be on Game Pass. Then the next one, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. So female Sourceborn looks great, and it's going to be on Game Pass. So likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this one on Game Pass, and then if it is actually good, and I'm almost certain it is going to be good because it's a Japanese, I'm pretty sure it's a Japanese game. It's an Asian game. It does have the letter M, so there must have been consultation to do with it, most likely. But the game does look great. I love the monster designs. Some of them look Lovecraftian. Some of them look like the stuff that I like to design, the plant monsters and stuff like this. So that game definitely looks very interesting to me. I will be playing it, and if it's good enough, I'll be buying it on the PlayStation 5. Hopefully there's a photo mode so I can make some videos with it. So we are almost done, ladies and gentlemen. So the next, we are at number 26. So we have 26 through 30 to go. Hopefully we'll be done in less than 6 hours. You better still be watching. You better still be... We'll have to make me come there. Yeah. You stay there. Alright, so number 26. Avowed. Looks good. Skyrim style. Game Pass. I don't remember it. I wrote it looks good, but I don't remember. But luckily we have the video playing over here, so... Crap, what the hell was Avowed? Anyways, it's on Game Pass, so I'll be playing it on day one when it comes out. And a lot of these games are actually coming out in August, so a lot of games to be playing also on the PlayStation 5. And then number 27, Atomfall. I wrote here, it looks fine, but no idea what it is. Again, it's on Game Pass. And then we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're gonna put a pin on that because I want to conclude the video talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, because this is what I'm gonna say is important. So give me a couple of minutes and we'll get to it. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear what I'm gonna say. All right, and then we have 29, Stalker 2. So I wrote not a bad shooter, Game Pass, Ukraine LOL. If the game was Russian, it would not be published by Xbox, right? Can't remember what it looked like though. And then the last showcase was Gears of War E-Day. So that is going to definitely be a game that I will be picking up. I have all the Gears of War games, including the tactics. Yeah, are we in Gears of War right now with the freaking mosquitoes? Got the bastard. The only bugs I kill, because they are actually dangerous. Small, but deadly, potentially. Alright, so yeah, I'm very much interested in the Gears of War. I I should have brought out a citronella candle. Yeah, so I'm very much interested in this new Gears of War game, even though it's the prequel to Gears of War 1. So it's the how the Locust came up and destroyed our planet. So the graphics look great, but there is something about Marcus's face, even the other guy. There's something about I don't know what it is about the faces. They don't look right. Maybe it's because he's not wearing his bandana. He looks younger, but there's something about the faces that I didn't like. The game is still in development, so could change from then. But I'm very much interested in playing this Gears of War game. Halo and Gears of War are the reasons why I've been buying every single Xbox that has come out since those games came out. Halo was the first game that got me into shooters, and Gears of War kept my interest. So I'm always going to be getting those games, whether they're good or not. Just like Silent Hills, whether they're good or not, I will collect them because I love the franchise. Even though the last one was not that great. Alright, so now back to Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't give a crap that the protagonist, we have two protagonists in the game, which I think it's a first. I don't think we ever had an Assassin's Creed that you play as two different characters. I don't care about Yasuke being a black samurai. I'm not a historian, so I'm not here to debate with people. It's a freaking video game. But what I did want to talk about regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I might make an entire video about this on its own for a Red Series video. So I live in Montreal. I'm a Canadian. Ubisoft is a Canadian studio based in Montreal. Kim Belair worked for Ubisoft, whether she still works for them in some capacity. Right now, who knows, but she was involved in Assassin's Creed Shadows. We've seen the picture. I don't know if she was trying to hide or she was trying to play coy. Here's one person. You have Kim. Here I am. Yeah, she blocked me by the way, because I called her and her company corporate bullies. Yeah, so the entire game is apparently made by female, mostly white female developers. Make that what you wish, but what I want to talk about is the Japanese consultant that they decided to go with. Frig, I didn't bring my paper, but here's her name, here's her picture. So they didn't just pick the first person that they came across. They picked this woman. I'm pretty sure she's a woman, right? I'm pretty sure she's a woman. She's not trans or anything, right? So she is, according to her, she is an LGBT activist or whatever. You guys saw that beetle, right? You guys saw that beetle? Again, that don't care. But what I do care about is what her field of specialty is. So her obsession and what she's been studying and has written already one book, and she's in the process of writing another one. I'm not making this crap up. This is her page from Dartmouth, her academia page. So this is public knowledge. She is proud of the things that she is working on and preaching about. So she is writing about transgenerational relationships between